up, guys? This is the Chong. We've been to the Chong before and it was a memorable experience because it's my first time out there, and we all know that it was kind of a memorial reef made for Captain Chris Chong, who died a while ago. But it was kind of cool going out there again and knowing what I already knew and kind of being able to go explore different parts of the wreck that I didn't get to see the first time. It was cool because this time we had Stuart with us, and Stuart was out there going to go spearfish, and we caught some wild stuff. Anyway, this time we went, water was pretty good conditions. There was a lot of things that ended up happening. We ended up seeing a shark. I'll tell you what, the shark had it out for us, and what we did was we were out there just spearfishing away, doing our thing, about 30-40 feet in depth, and there was a couple other spearfishermen out there. One got a gag, one got a flounder, and Stuart ended up spearing a spade and ended up giving it to me because he hasn't really brought home a spade yet to the missus, so he didn't want to do that. But it was pretty cool. So as we kind of made our way down the wreck, there was different passages and different places we ended up going into to check out like I did before. But with Stuart there, I was able to kind of have a buddy with me instead of having like Alyssa and the other dive team that was with me, to be able to go and check out the different areas, check out the different spots, and be able to see if we can capture some really interesting things nonetheless. It was pretty cool to be able to kind of get in the water, see some jacks right out the gate, and be able to have them swarm. And usually when you go into some South Carolina waters, you'll end up having jacks just kind of swarming you right when you first get in. And once we kind of get down there a little bit, it's kind of assess the situation, try to figure out exactly what direction we're going to go. And typically with a boat, you try to make your way around the boat on the bottom, right? Well, this time we ended up doing that, but I looked at Stuart and I said, first dive, let's kind of explore and go around the boat. And the second dive, let's go ahead and go into the boat and see if we can see anything that we haven't seen yet, right? But on that second dive, it was kind of crazy because, you know, naturally you go down and you kind of go around the boat and then you go in and check it out. But at this point in time, we didn't realize, because it got a little bit more murky on the second dive, just because divers being down there kicking up salt and silt gets kind of crazy really quick, and we ended up seeing a shark come out of nowhere. So Stuart's down there with his spear gun trying to see what he's seeing and trying to be able to go after what is nearby. And what ends up happening is when Stuart was down on the ground and trying to get that fish off of the spear, it was crazy because there was a sandbar shark that came through and tried to grab the fish while he kind of was removing it from the spear itself. Stuart and I looked at each other, we're like, let's go up, right? It was a super scary experience. We didn't realize the shark was going to be that ballsy and want to get that close to us, but nonetheless, we ended up getting out of there and was able to kind of board and get back safely, right? Pretty wild stuff, but it was kind of neat to see some different things down there, some stuff maybe I've never seen before. We ended up seeing a shark egg casing. I've seen them before in aquariums and such, but never seen one in the wild. It was kind of cool to kind of see through that, and when you put the light up next to the shark egg casing, you can actually see inside of it a little bit. It's a little translucent, right? And around the Chong, beautiful wreck. It's preserved well, and you can see the hull. You can kind of go into the ship if you have those certifications, and you can kind of check and see what's kind of there, because a fish can harbor in any place in those spots within the boat itself. So every time you're kind of looking into it, looking around it, there's something that can kind of come out and kind of go in and see if there's anything that like really stands out to you, right? And for me, I was trying to think of things to film this time. I was really trying to figure out what are some like aspects of these wrecks that maybe I'm not filming as much on. It was really neat to be able to film the coral down there. On the side of the ship, there's a lot of Gorgonian soft coral, and that coral itself is just kind of lined across. It's kind of like a big mold that shows up. It was really neat to kind of get some of the texture with the camera itself, because in film, what we like to do is try to make sure that texture is there to kind of create those environments. As Stuart's down there with me, there's a lot of times when I'm filming and he's spearing, so there's not a lot of room for me to go ahead and grab a spear gun and be able to hit a fish, right? But what he can do is he can pass that fish off to me if he doesn't want to use it, right? And to the missus, a lot of spade are not really tasty, right? So he doesn't really like to bring home spade as much. So he went ahead and gave it to me, and then I ended up cooking a dinner for my wife and I, and we ended up enjoying it. I told him that there wasn't anything wrong with the spade. Guys, that concludes our time with the Chong. Super excited to be able to show you guys like a different aspect of the Chong itself. It was really really neat to be able to kind of dive down there and check it out. If you guys have any questions about how to get to some of these locations, you guys can always check out Scuba Express as far as tourism goes, and then there's other boats that go out of like Merle's Inlet area to be able to get out there and check some of those dive sites out. If you guys have any comments or about the different types of fish or any questions about them, please leave them down below. We'd love to be able to answer them and see if I can help you guys figure out where to go for what kinds of fish you guys are trying to spear, or just see in general as you're scuba diving down. So again, this is a start to, I believe, is something awesome, which is my film company, Thalos Films. I do own a video production company called 963 Film Group. If you guys would ever like to see some other types of films, and being able to understand that there is some kind of way to market your business in the marine industry, we really do know how to do that. From discovery, conversion, retention, I know how to be able to bring about any kind of business when it comes to that kind of thing, and be able to showcase kind of who you are as a company and where you guys are coming from. So would love to be able to help you guys plug that in and see how it works for the businesses. I'm going to be going down to DEMA down in November. Super excited to kind of check that out, see what's going on there. I'm looking at ICAST as well, and hopefully we can talk to some businesses and be a part of some other people's stories and be able to share those at the same time. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys check out the next episode and dive right in.